Jim is the owner of KIM Stables in Athens, Alabama, where he teaches students in horsemanship and riding, and also has clinics, classes, and seminars. Jim is a keynote speaker and also hosts All About Horses Radio, which airs each Monday morning at 9:30 on WKAC 1080 AM and streams at WKAC1080.com. He is a teacher and instructor, and his goal, purpose, and responsibility is to teach people who want to enjoy their horses and their horse to enjoy them. To Jim, that's what it's all about, enjoying horses through communication. That's last. I'm going to ask the guys, all the guys answer this, okay? What would you think would be the most important thing in a relationship? Sorry? Trust? Yeah. Trust. Communication, understanding. So if you don't have the trust, you don't have the rest of it. Okay? Understanding, thinking like a horse. To be with horses, we got to think like a horse. First, we got to understand how horses think. I do a lot of, like the announcer said, radio show, and I write for a couple of papers, a magazine, and blog, and I run into a lot of things. They'll get inspired to write about. One article was, our opinions matter. And how many of them have been asked a question concerning something that happened to someone with their horse, but you weren't there to see what happened? It's kind of hard to have an answer to that, isn't it? Because we didn't see what happened. So all we can do is make suggestions. And I tell people, if someone asks you a question, my horse did this, or they ask the question, my horse did this, they can't be answered if they're not there. All we can do is make suggestions of what can be done. Okay? So, what we do, what we teach is the concept of groundwork that transfers to the saddle. Okay? How many people do groundwork with horses? How many do proper groundwork with horses? How many use your groundwork for teaching instead of making the horse do something? Moving off the pressure. How many people lunge your horses? Why? I've heard that, well, I want to knock the edge off. Well, we don't lunge horses, but we do sit in a circle. But we also can communicate with them because we want them to do something else after they go around in a circle, okay? We want them to start thinking instead of just running. We don't chase the horses. You'll see somebody go around and use the stick and boom, 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 okay, chase the horse around in a circle. Now, I know controlling the horse's feet is very important. Controlling the feet, moving, as they move, or the lack of movement. Just like the herd. Okay? So having the understanding of that horse's mentality is very, very the concepts that we teach. And first of all, how many people like to go to clinics? A clinic. That's not going to the doctor's office. Go and get fixed or you're sick. Okay? One thing that I've tried to do, especially this year, is our clinics are not clinics. So we're going to be what we call skill learning. Skills learning instead of clinics. Because, and this is, I've taught horsemanship at the State University with classes there, and talking to some people there, and this is about photography, okay? They had a class there and nobody signed up for it. And they asked some people, said, why didn't you sign up for it? And they said, well, I didn't want anybody to know I didn't know anything. What's up with that? So let me say this, if you're afraid to go to a clinic, don't speak, because everybody there is in the same boat, so to speak. You're there to learn. You're there to observe. And how many of them learn anything on watching someone else? Yeah? Oh, that's not good wrong. Okay? But you can learn to do things correctly. Watching other people. You can learn watching other people's horses and how that horse responds to a certain age and how light that age is. Okay? It's just communication. It's just language. Okay? So kind of watch the other people, what's going on there. Okay? This horse, I know Pat does this, but how many can read the personality of the horse and know how to work that particular horse? All horses are the same. All horses are, there's not a cookie cutter there. All horses. Okay? Many people want to learn the concept and work with their own horses. You want to learn to teach your horse. I'm not a horse trainer. Never will be, never have been. I'm a teacher. I teach people to teach your horse. Okay? And we do it in a way that it's a safety thing. I want you to be safe, because if you're not safe, you can't work with your horse. You get hurt, you can't ride it. So it's a process of learning for both, for you and your horse. So, to understand that, you need to spend or invest the time. Invest the time to learn your horse. Now, when you go and work with your horse, don't try to hammer stuff in their hand. You give them a break their horse. You may have an hour, but you're not doing anything with your horse that whole hour. Okay? Because that horse, he'll live. We did our practice for a huge ride, and did some things, and he'll see some things every while. We won't change some things here. We'll bareback and do a thing at the end. And I hope you will enjoy it. When we were doing it the other day, she just walking over. But that's the horse. You can't get mad. I mean, never learn anything that you can mad and hurt at the same time. Never. So if you got a horse that's afraid, he's not going to learn anything. You got to get it in that confident area before you can teach it anything. You got to get it to trust in you. You can't force that horse, okay? Horses want to please. We just got to know how to help them. Please. We got to get them to the spot. They help us learn. We learn more from the horse once we get to a place So we got to get to that place. But first, it's right line, you should say. The place you start is in the front. Start at the beginning. So you got to know where to start with that horse first. Okay? So we're going to show you some concepts that we teach on the ground that kind of help in the saddle with the language of moving on the pressure. Okay? Having that communication system, move on the pressure, understanding how to help that horse understand. Okay? All right? Now, can y'all see my foot movement after a step? See my rein? Touch up nose, help the hind quarter move over. My left foot, that's to go there. Take my right foot off. Adjust the reins here. Slightly. All right? That's back in. That's her back. All right, now she says, I'm trying. So I go at it. You see her keep going, and I'm instead of saying, no, I'm just going to stop and relax. Let her stop. Let her have this thought process. And now I'm going to pick it up and watch her again. We'll be back up. Just lightning on the nose. Okay? Just touching my finger here. This one here. This is the lightness that you want. Okay? Or you can use your leg here. Okay? Now, as we move over to the hind quarter, I'm going to pick up this right rein slightly, touch the nose right there, touch the hind quarter there, with my heel, after I move around here. Okay? I'll be right there, she's got her head around, I'm going to keep pulling, I'm keep asking with my foot. Okay? Give her time to think about what I'm asking, instead of wanting her to keep going, or I force her to keep going. I say, no, you're thinking of the process. Think about what I'm asking. Okay? So now I'm going to slide my hand down. I'm using just my fingers. See her head come around right there? You felt that vibration when my hand went down. Now my heel goes back, and now I'm touching her hind quarter to move around. Here, I'm giving her a little communication, a little nose there, and we just move around. Okay? So that's the communication that I like to teach. Did y'all see her breathe? The nervous breath. Okay, so that was nervous breath. So I'm telling you, you've got to be in tune with your horse's body, even when you're sitting on these dead animals. Okay? These dead animals, this is not last, but it is under there. Okay? I'm your right hand. I'm your right hip. I'm your right hand actor. I'm your right hand hall. I'm your right hand screen. Isn't that freedom? When you're sitting there and you're riding with this, and you get the same communication here. Okay? There. That's good. How many people teaching horses on that track? Yeah. Thank you. Look around. Everything starts. You gotta have a foundation here. If you're building a building, building a house, what do you got to do first? You gotta have your footing before the foundation. So you go back, you heard people say, well, you gotta have a foundation on your horse. You gotta have a footing before you do the foundation. So you got to dig. All right? You go farther than the foundation. You got to dig down a bit and go back farther than where you thought you needed to start. So we can't assume we know something. You know what that means? You don't assume they know. Then they heard that, got the teachers, and it was me. So we can't assume that we know anything about horses. Because last time I looked in the mirror, I didn't have a mane and a tail and triple legs. So they know more about us than we know about them. So it's very, there's a lot of information. You vision, there's a plethora of information. And you can learn something from everyone. You can even learn something from someone that knows what they're doing. You can learn what they're doing. Okay? So, it's one of those things that we need to remove ourselves from who we are. And that's hard. You know? We got to remove ourselves from thinking that we actually. And all of a sudden, oh, here we go. And think at it. Right? So, understanding, and you know I don't feel this anymore, right? There's nothing behind me but my boot. Okay? So, I just throw the toe in my boot to get this. Okay? Right there. And she shows that camera. Now I'm bringing it in a little bit. Like I said, there's some more printers coming in. She's talking about barbecue while doing what we get. Okay? So, one of those things that we just want to have fun with. And, you know, I do have some instances of installed on the horses, riding the field, understanding learning from the horse's point of view. And, yeah, I don't like I said, I don't like to do what we call clinics. I like to go and have fun. Because who's ever learned anything when you've having fun? You learn more when you're having fun. Instead of going, oh, we've got to learn something here, and I don't know it's a clinic, and I'm not saying it. I don't think it, but I am. I'm sick of clinics. Okay? So we have fun. We have fun. We got obstacles, horses, challenges. Obstacles, easy going. Obstacles, horses, challenges coming up. But it's not a competitive thing. It's having fun. There'll be no rewards. Or there'll be rewards for you and your horse. So, I'm going to go over here and we're going to take this dead apple off. And, there we go. All right, y'all bring this stuff out here. We can do this.
Show a little bit about bridles. Right.
We'll be moving this. I mean, you mounted law. I hope you all do. But it's taking you home. But you put a lot of pressure on your back. And when you unpack your horse, go right backwards. Then the way you do it on, that way in case something happens, saddle will get ruined and the horse will get hurt. And we've got to do ourselves stand on it, step on it, drag it. Used to like driving stuff across the long bar. Trip all 3 times, walk up to the horse, step on it. I use a bareback in that. Well, sometimes the horses back a little bony, even though they do have a little weight on them. Plus, how many grab bareback? I encourage people, she's already. I encourage people to ride bareback, and it gives you a good feel of the horse. And you can feel their back, feel the movement. You know, that's what makes you just look at you stuff back together. So, I encourage people to run that. Because, like I said, you feel the horse, you feel all the movement. Plus, it helps you with your balance. I'm going to work on your balance. Using one of those, box balls or doing boots on standing on foot. That can help. I do that at home. But, I do need to get something. But it's anything that we can do to help us. Even fitness. You know, how many people do exercise to help you ride or mount or things like that? You know, to try to stay in condition. That's very important. To physically and okay.
Guess who joined us?
You smile. Listen to me. Whenever you can. There. Just have to give them time. Give them a little time. It's not a thing that, you know, I need to make sure there's something. I've never seen watch a horse. We got to work with them in their time. They are in the moment. Okay? And we got to help them deal with some situations. Actually, I told them they were riding and giving this little waterfall there. How many of you want to cowboy up? You have to instead of dismounting and helping the horse. Dismount and helping the horse. It's not about us. It's not about what we do. It's about helping these animals, these majestic animals. You know, how y'all, you believe it's irrelevant. But I feel something for my shoes. You know, God's favorite animals. How many think that God's favorite animals? Why? They're already there. That's the way I think. They're already there. And that's an awesome thing. An awesome thing. It's old animal that I mean, they're okay. So, and you know, we just want to communicate these things. Okay? She says, shake, rattle, and roll. And I want her to roll. So this is the communication and the trust. And when we have the trust, when we have the trust and communication understanding, then we can start communicating more. And she says, there's people who have their cameras. And I got 15. She has been on more magazines and newspapers than ever printers. And she used to hate flash, which she should. Used to, if I was doing this, she would jump out from under with flash. Okay? But
see her trying to think here a little bit, she's worried about what I'm doing, or thinking what I'm doing. Okay, right here, keep pushing on that. Okay. So we just kind of have a little communication here. There. Thank you. Just says whoa. How many people say whoa? Okay. Yep. I'll let them go. Hey, you want to stop? I said, okay, stand right here. Stand here. Now I said, I want you to think and ride your horse. Okay? You ride your horse. I said, I want you to do everything you do when you actually want to stop. And they go, whoa. I said, what are your body language? Body language. Okay? You pick it up. Okay? You can teach your horse to stop and say, idiot. It's a sound. It's not English. It's not. It was funny. I went to Hungary in 2009. I think you were there. I was over there 18 days. It was a long time. And it's a funny thing. I was out there and I was thinking to the Hungarians who had a rubber. And I said, your horses don't speak Hungarian. They speak English. They speak horse. Okay? They speak horse. Every horse in the world speaks the same language. Okay? Now, actually, it was a mission trip I was on to work with these people horses. But, you know, and this really stood out to me when I was there. And in 1 Corinthians 14, it says, all species of the world have a language and they all are connected. Oh, there it is. Learn the language of the horse. If you need to speak to someone or speak to an animal, learn the language. Learn to communicate. Learn how to. It's a whole lot more fun to have a communication. You know? And it's just like, there's one time they were talking about it. They were talking to this person from another country, and that person didn't understand. They just get louder and louder. You know, I'm not hard of hearing, I can't understand. So when you're working with your horses, don't get louder. They're not. They're just trying to understand. So we don't get bigger and bolder and force and fuss and get frustrated. Okay? It's a funny thing when we teach our horses. Every time we're with our horse, we teach them something. Every time we teach them something. We either teach them not to be called, or we teach them to run over us, or we teach them to run away from us. Okay? We teach them something, good or bad. We teach them. So anytime you're with your horse, understand what you're teaching your horse. Okay? Understand the language that you're working with. Okay? Give them time. Let them think. Okay? You said I won't go that way. So give them time. You see how I'm doing this? I do that. You're just kind of there. Good. Okay? So if you don't go that way, you're in the pressure. Move it in the pressure. But you got anything you can't say, okay, let's go. Keep going. That's the time to make it go. Keep going and go. That's all I want. That's one step. That's one step. You get forward. You can't go around the world and do it from the other, right? Okay. Now we're going to dismount, and I'm going to show you how concept
Swanner. Good morning.
and then we're going to do a little deep where you enjoy.
We do that. It's right.
All right. Okay, bring it forward. stay.
Okay.
There are pressure points on course where we start teaching to move away from pressure, to get you dedicated, to get you sideways, to get you turning. But we started at different ends of the course. To help that horse to understand what we're doing. Now, I want this horse, and I ask people all the time, do you want your horse that's soft? Yes. Well, you got to start there. You've got to start as soft as you can, and then build on that, and then go back and take the pressure off. You just don't start pushing because there's nowhere to go back to do. Does that make sense? Okay? So you want to start very soft. So if I want her to move off the pressure, I'm going to ask her here, just lightly, using the back of my hand. But it didn't start that way. It didn't start that way. But I start that way. But it didn't, I had to go harder, basically, and then take the pressure off. Then she'll start understanding that if I need, she says, I need to go off the lightness of the pressure. That way I won't get the hardness of pressure. Okay? That makes sense. So you always take that pressure away. Once they start moving, you take that pressure off. And that teaches that. Of course you learn about association. And once you take that pressure off, then they go, oh, that's it. I just need to move. And I'm doing this. Right there. Okay? I need to go sideways. I need to move my front feet, leave my back feet still when they feel my leg and my foot here. Now, this is when it starts on the ground. Starts on the ground. That's the importance of groundwork. Our thing last year was